Good morning. It is June 24th. It's a beautiful summer morning here. And I thought I'd just give you an update in the greenhouse. I did a video on how to grow food as if your life depends on it. And I want to show you how I grow food using that method. So please, if you haven't seen that video, please go watch that video. I'll have a link below this video. So this is in my DIY geothermal greenhouse, how to grow food year-round on the cheap. And I made this out of PVC. We'll look at the other greenhouse momentarily. These are potatoes, and you can see that they are, well, 5 feet tall and just amazing in color, and I mean, just beautiful, beautiful leaves. They're just starting to blossom here, which means they're getting ready to harvest. I planted these the same, no, actually I planted them a week after the commercial growers grow theirs. Theirs are about 8 to 10 inches above the ground right now. And they'll probably get to maybe 1.5 feet or so. These are 5 feet tall. Let's see if I can get into this camera here so you can get a comparison. But you can see that these are pretty amazing. And that's because I follow the 6 laws of plant growth and feed them properly. Speaking of feeding, this is where we keep our weekly feed in our PrePlant mix. Which I discussed in how to grow food as if your life depends on it. This is the mix with the LDS Prepper Premium micronutrients in it. This is a 100% balanced, all natural plant food. This all comes from rocks. It's 100% minerals. So don't worry about synthetic fertilizers and so forth. This is 100% natural from rocks. I can't get any more natural than a rock. It has an indefinite shelf life because it's literally ground rock. And so it has all the minerals that the plants need. So that's the weekly feed that I keep it in a bucket. I make about 30 pounds at a time. And over here I've got my PrePlant mix, and I've got my can. And you can see that it's marked here with how much I put into my boxes. Just mark the can, scoop it like that, and then put that in my boxes. I actually put that in once a month, and I put this in once a week. I use 1 pound, and you can see the line in here, for a 30-foot box. Just fill it to that line. I know I'm not overfeeding and underfeeding, and that works really well. What kind of results are we getting? Well, you can see these potatoes over here. These are volunteers, and they came up before these plants over here. I have not watered these, but I did put the PrePlant and the micronutrients in the soil before when I prepared the bed, and these are all volunteers. So you can see the difference between following the 6 laws of plant growth. These plants who are look like my neighbor commercial growers are growing compared to these plants. Big difference. Light, temperature, water, food. You got to include all those things here. So anyway, very, very happy with the yellow potatoes. And then these are my wife's garlic. They are ready to start harvesting. Here's the kitty who likes to be in all the videos. Hey, kitty, kitty. Yep. And my wife has included some flowers over here. We grow so much produce that she's just literally putting flowers in. Here we have we actually have four 30-foot long boxes. We produce about 1,000 pounds of produce per box. Over here we have some cantaloupe, and you can see right here where I sprinkled yesterday the micronutrients on here, but I didn't come back and hand water, which, I mean, the PrePlant. I did not come back and hand water. But anyway, so we've got some great looking honeydew and cantaloupe here. This is our sun sugar tomatoes, and you can see they are about 5.5 feet high. Here we have over here artichokes. We had 4 feet, we had 10 feet area, and we didn't plan on planting anything because we grow so much food we can't eat it all. So we put in some artichokes. We've never grown artichokes before, but we water and feed them just like any other plant, even though they're more from an arid area, and they are doing wonderful. And these are our different melons. Everything in this box here is planted 9 inches apart. I mean, these are not melons, these are squashes. And you can see we have squashes growing literally all the way across both boxes and down the other side. And this one here has already, excuse me kitty, grown all the way down to the ground, and I've looped it back, and it's growing now going back. So this is probably, that's 7, it's probably 20 or more feet big. You can see this Hubbard squash here, quite big. So what I do is I take some of the baler twine that you see here, and I'll actually make a loop. I won't on this one because it's already secured, but I make a loop around the throat here, the stem, and I tie it onto the trellis to keep it growing. But anyway, big, beautiful. You can see these leaves here. I can get back here. Beautiful leaves. Everything is great and healthy. Just amazing looking plants here. I have a couple little runners down here that I keep and let some plants grow down here on the ground, and get some growing there too. Again, here's the PrePlant. PrePlant is very important. It gets rid of that, or stops the blossom end rot you see on tomatoes and other related plants. Here is some more yellow potatoes, and you can see they're doing really, really well too. And just this jungle here of food. Over here we got some more plants growing up here. These are more squashes. I want you to notice here, we've had the doors open, but you notice I don't know if you can see the dew here on the leaves right here. And so this is this condensation from last night. But here in the greenhouse, we actually have a dehumidifier, and that dehumidifier collects somewhere between 5 and 10 gallons of water a night during the winter. Not so much during the summer because we have the doors and windows open, but it gets a lot of water from the winter period that stays in this closed greenhouse. So it's super important to have a dehumidifier, at least 1 or 2. This is a 20 by 40 greenhouse. So let's take a look back through the greenhouse here. Sun's just coming up, and it's just packed with super healthy, high nutrition, high production plants here. Here's some more squashes. Notice that I'm cutting off all of the runners, suckers, whatever you want to call them, from the squash plants. I just simply have one main leader from the squash plants. And see how many squashes I have? I mean, I literally, I don't know that I can count them. This is one squash plant, and it's coming up here. You can see where I've supported it. Here's a squash that didn't take. So this one looks good. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, 5, 6, 7 squashes. And then when it gets down here, either I'm going to loop it back over so it continues growing squashes, or I'll cut it off. The water just came on. I have it on an automatic watering system. You can see here that it's watering for 3 minutes. It'll water each box for 3 minutes. I determined that because I was looking at my plants and they looked like they were wilting in the afternoon. So I increased the water from 1 minute earlier in the season to 2 minutes, now to 3 minutes, and now I'm watering 3 minutes in the morning. Oh, sorry, kitty. Go on. And 2 minutes in the afternoon. And I just look at my plants and they tell me what they need to eat and how much water they need. Over here is our strawberry bed. These strawberries have been in here, these plants have been in here now for 5 years, and we have not bought new plants. But what my wife did last year is that and just look at this beautiful garden. I mean, that is, to me, it's just amazing that you can grow so much food in such a small area. Literally feed an entire family. So what she did is she came through these strawberry plants, and we took them all out and we broke up the clusters and we replanted just one cluster. But we eat strawberries from March through November here. And just see if I can find some strawberries. She's really diligent about keeping the strawberries harvested. So here we have some strawberries down here. We plant them, you can see here, so that the strawberries hang over the edge so they're not sitting on the moist soil. So we don't have the rotting problem as much as if they're sitting on the soil. Some more strawberries here. And we have people come over multiple times a week, and we always offer them strawberries, so they've eaten a lot of the strawberries too. So this is what the garden looks like. You literally can grow food as if your life depends on it if you follow the 6 laws of plant growth. The biggest problem I've seen with most people is that they are not feeding their plants the nutrients that they need. That's why I take the time and the expense to personally source all the micronutrients, mix them, package them, and mail them around the world so that you can have all of the nutrients that your plants need to grow. Anyway, so just want to give you an update in this greenhouse. The video is getting kind of long, so I'll do another video on the geothermal greenhouse with the fruit trees in there, the avocados and the lemons and limes and mango and so forth. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this update. I hope that you are growing food like your life depends on it, that you're gaining the skills that you need so that you can control the quality, the cost, and the availability of the food. One last thing here, you see these fans. We have 3 fans in here, and because I cannot roll up the sides in the greenhouse, it gets really hot in here in July and August. So I'll end up putting shade cloth on here, as much as I hate to do that. If I don't, it'll just get too hot. And we turn these fans on to move the airflow through. So I will be turning those on. It's a little noisy. I want to turn them on, so I'll turn them on afterwards. And you'll hear over here, I've got the blower going on the geothermal. That is water in the pipes. And what I've found is, since this is my original greenhouse, I put solid 4-inch PVC pipe, 4-inch drain pipe down below, that due to all the condensation during the winter, some of the pipes have a tendency to get water in them due to condensation. And so I run the fan during the summer to move that water out, and it takes care of the problem. So I would recommend, as I mentioned in my geothermal greenhouse videos, to use perforated pipes. This is my wife's herb plants that she's seedlings that she's growing here. Okay, you notice I've got the styrofoam on the north side taken down, all but the lower level. And then I'll put the styrofoam back up this coming fall all the way to the center and close up the greenhouse and grow all the way through winter. Last winter we were eating tomatoes all the way through winter, the entire year, tomatoes year round. Right now it looks like it's just about 66, 67 degrees in here, and got some beautiful tomatoes here on the plants, and got some great, looks like butternut, that's probably spaghetti squash, butternut squash. I have everything labeled, but I'm not gonna look down at the labels here. Anyway, just give you an update on what we're doing here in the greenhouse and how it's going. Hope you're doing very well. This is LDS Prepper reminding you, if ye are prepared, ye shall not fear, and you will have plenty of food, high quality, low cost, high nutrition food available for your family and loved ones.